How's it going, everybody? Gus here. Ever since I reviewed the Air 75 from NuPhy Studios, a small form factor, slim, 75% layout, wireless mechanical keyboard, I have basically recommended it to anybody who asked me for a keyboard recommendation overall. It was my basic recommendation. But I get it. Not everybody wants a small form factor one, a slim board, a different layout. So in those cases, I obviously did also recommend other stuff, because why wouldn't I, right? Problem with that is, NuPhy as a brand apparently never learned to share. So they don't really enjoy the fact that they were sharing my recommendation list with other manufacturers. So to that end, they sent me that. This is the HALO96. Obviously a full-size keyboard with a twist, and ever since I got this thing out of its box, it has become my personal recommendation for anyone looking for a keyboard. Unless it's a small form factor or a slim one, in which case Air 75 it is. But for everybody else, this is it. 100%, you could just take my word for it, go down in the description, use the link, grab one for yourself, start using it and never look back. You would be set. But, I mean, I already recorded the entire review explaining why that's it. And you're already here watching, so how about you just stick to the end? Is that good? Alright? Okay, let's do it then. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about pricing, because it can both sound too good to be true and a little bit too steep at the same time. It all depends on your perspective, but there's a reason for that, and we're gonna get through all of that later. $168.95, so let's round it up to 170 bucks for the keyboard alone. Plus 29 bucks if you want the accompanying wrist rest. So all in all, this package that you see here will run you roughly 200 bucks. Okay, editor Gus here real quick, sorry for interrupting, but I messed up the pricing there. It's 29 bucks for the wrist rest, plus 139 or 149 for the keyboard, depending on your switch choices. Just take that into account throughout the rest of the review, because I didn't catch that mistake up until this point in the editing, alright? Thank you very much, back to the video. It might seem high, yes, but it's actually a steal. Now, why is it a steal? Well, it's an NC 96% layout with double-shot KOP PBT keycaps for both Mac and Windows, with a switch directly on the board to toggle between the modes. You can use it wireless through both 2.4 GHz or Bluetooth 5.0, and can be connected to up to 4 devices, which is nice. Plus, the connection is actually super solid. I've been using it for over like a month, maybe almost 2. 4 devices connected to it. I've never had a single issue with connectivity with any of them. Like, absolutely great. And you can obviously also run it wired through USB-C, because I mean, you need to be able to charge it up anyways, and it's included in the box in this accessory kit that, as far as I know, comes with every single HALO96, with your USB-C cable, plus a keycap and switch puller, a bunch of different keycap options for you to customize your board, and a couple of the different switches that you might have gone for when you were speccing out your keyboard for actually purchasing it, which can be both a good or a bad thing, because if you chose wisely for yourself, you're going to be like thrilled that your switch was actually the one to get, or if you chose poorly, you're just going to be pissed because you're going to know that another switch was better. But anyway, this comes in the box with it as well. And speaking of choosing your switches, it's not like once you bought your keyboard, it's like set in stone, because it has a hot swap PCB, which is awesome. Out of the box, you can just customize it to your heart's content. Just remember, these are all north-facing switch connections, so the illumination is also north-facing. Now the frame, they say it's aluminum, like the top part is aluminum, the rest is like plastic, so it's a mix of the two. It's really well made, the construction and the materials, the feel, everything's super premium actually. The finishing, it's like chef's kiss, top notch. But it's also the heaviest keyboard that I have ever used. This one weighs over 2.5 kilograms, but it's going to just be stationary on your desk anyway, so I mean, the wireless thing, it's not actually to make it portable in terms of you getting it into your backpack and taking it with you, just like the Air 75 that has the little sleeve for you to carry it around. This is not it. This is wireless just for the convenience of you not having a wire on your desk. That's pretty much it. This can hurt someone, like truly hurt someone. Now, as you just saw, there's a lot of RGB with a halo on the outside and an inner wall halo on the actual board, plus all the illumination underneath the keycaps, again, north facing, all of them, and it's all very tasteful and very well executed. There are no slits, no splits, there's no actual noticeable break in the illumination. That said, because of the whole aesthetic that we're going for, I was expecting the keycaps to actually be shine through out of the box. It is an option. You could grab a set of shine through keycaps on NuPhy's website directly as you're buying the board, but stock out of the box, it comes like this, both in the white and black version. Fine by me, because I actually prefer it this way. It's a little bit inconsistent with the whole theme, if you ask me, but you know, it's what you get. And you can control all of that with the macros directly on the board, or NuPhy's own proprietary software, the NuPhy console software, which is in beta right now. It works fine, but I mean, it's nice that you don't need to use another piece of software, to have another piece of software clogging up your system if you don't want to. Nice to have. But what really makes this thing shine, well, the illumination makes it shine. What really makes this thing special is the attention to detail when it comes to the actual user experience, using and typing on this thing. For one, it comes out of the box with actually well done pre-looped stabs and switches. There is a plate silicone molding, a PCB silicone molding, and a bottom housing silicone molding, everything put together to basically deaden the sound and absorb all the shocks and all the reverberations within this particular build. There are silicone bars underneath the space bar for shock absorption. And to top it all off, what NuPhy calls Ghost Bar, which is basically a 1U keycap that's made of soft silicone that's put on top of the switch for the spacebar, and there's a polycarbonate shell that actually glues that to the actual spacebar keycap, basically taking shock absorption and sound absorption of you hitting the spacebar to a completely different level. Now that said, there is a QC sticker on this thing saying that it passed quality control, but my unit has a bit of a flaw in the silicone molding on top of the PCB. The enter key and the one right above it came without anything there, so there's no shock absorption on those two particular keys. It goes to show that despite NuPhy sending this directly to me for a review, this wasn't exactly cherry-picked. So on one hand, that's good to know that they didn't, do something special just for a review unit, but at the same time, it also brings up a concern in terms of quality control, because if this happened with something that was sent to a paying customer, that would not have been ideal. So just some food for thought. But still, even with those little quality control issues, this has still been the smoothest typing experience that I have ever had with anything that I took out of the box and put on my desk to start using. Take a listen. Now, in terms of actual usage, I already mentioned that the connections have been absolutely solid, like rock solid with every single device that I have plugged it into. And to operate in wireless, it has, as you guys can see, a sort of small 4,000 milliamp hour cell. Now, with all of that space available, I was kind of surprised why NuPhy went for a 4,000 milliamp hour cell. Yes, with no lights on, you can go for over 200 hours of operation off this thing on wireless mode, and it charges up really quickly, so that's kind of a non-issue. But if you turn on all the lights, and it's something that I would expect people who want this board to actually like to use, you're looking at 5 to 10 hours of operation. I would have expected it to be able to last for at least a week. That would have been ideal. 5 to 10 hours isn't anything to scoff at, but I mean, it's a little on the lower side. As for the wrist rest, since we're already here, it's super solid, 100% solid polycarbonate, translucent, with a either white or black chamfered design piece that goes right up front. And when you put this thing in front of your keyboard, it does a fantastic job in terms of aesthetics at least. propagating that illumination through the translucent material. Despite being solid, since this is a taller keyboard, it actually does a good job accommodating for your hands not to feel a little bit too, stretched out as you're trying to type. So all in all, if you are looking for a wrist rest to complement the design and the aesthetics of your Halo 96, this is probably the one to get. Now, all in all, this is nuts. NuPhy basically has my recommendation list for keyboards held for ransom. First, the R75, great slim form factor one, now the Halo 96. After years of, running away from bigger boards, it's been years since I've actually used anything bigger than a TKL. NuPhy has definitely become a staple name brand for keyboard manufacturers in my book. The amount of quality and attention to detail that they put into everything that they have put out so far, or at least everything that I've tested from them, it's like insane, especially for the price. You could definitely find stuff out that there's, cheaper than the Halo 96, but considering everything that I told you that this thing comes with, at least to my knowledge, there's nothing else on the market that for 170 bucks is going to deliver this level of attention to detail and quality. Like, this is a superb product. So it comes out of this review with a glowing recommendation. You get it? Glowing because of all the lights. The Halo 96 is awesome. Phenomenal board. 100% absolutely recommended. That said, what about you guys? I told you my preferences about keyboards and what I've been using or not using on the past couple of months and years. But what do you guys prefer? Smaller form factors, slim boards, bigger ones, TKL, full size, 65%, 60%, 40%? Ergo boards. Yeah, that's the one, right? Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, that's been it. Thanks a bunch for watching. This is Gus, and I'll catch you guys later. I will slip the blade.